Okay, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, all good. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. Okay, so like I said, when we are working on our inventory, we will be looking on the inventory management, which will be under maintenance. We also have assembly. We will be creating our bill of materials. And also we've got processing. We will be doing the adjustments and inventory transfers. First thing we need to look at is we look at how to create inventory items. So to do that, you'll go to inventory, then maintenance, inventory and services. Under the sample company, I already have a few items created. We'll just do a few examples. So if you click on new, it will come up with the inventory management screen or inventory maintenance screen. Under this screen, we've got an option or we will need to create our item code, the description, the item type, which is either an inventory item or physical item, a service item, or a buyout item. The first item we'll look at will create our physical inventory item. So our code, I'm going to use my name as a code. Then I will give it a description. We can have a POS description, which will appear on our point of sale. But for this exercise, I'm not going to use that. So this will be my item code, my item description. If we've got a barcode for the item, we can add 2 barcodes, which will print on our labels, which I'm not going to go through that for now. Then we can also come and create preferred suppliers or preferred vendors for the items. So if I come and select one of my suppliers there as a preferred supplier for the item, I can also put the item code as per the supplier, if there is a warranty, and the supplier price. So this would be a preferred supplier. I can have multiple suppliers linked to the same item. Then I will always select maybe the cheapest supplier will be my preferred supplier. There is also pricing where I can put in my prices for this item. This will be my selling price. You've got estimated local cost and estimated import cost. I'm not going to go through this for now. We also have location. So what this does is if you've got different locations, you can link your items to different account sets as per your location. That means that your account sets are basically the GL accounts that will get affected every time you process a sale or a purchase for this particular item. So I will use the deco for my default location, as well as this for the warehouse location. So this is basically the information that is required on my item for me to be able to save it. But you can also add other information if you like. You can put your taxes there. You can put your reorder levels. You also have activities to see the kind of activities that went through. You can add related items as well. So I'm going to save my item. There's also an image. You can put in an image for your item. So now I've saved my item. The item is now created. As you can see, this is my item. There's 0 available. I have not done any processing on this item. Also, I can come to the default price list. I've got my different price list there. I can check for my item. The last received cost, I don't have anything. I can put in my price there. This will be my selling price. Remember the same as we had on the previous screen. So I can come and save this. So basically that's how I will create my account. Basically I will create my inventory item. So I do have other options there. You've got, like you said, you've got your price list, you've got your contract pricing. I've got the discount matrix, location. So to look my different locations. Sorry about that. I've got different categories. I can add different categories. There's also a lot and serial type. So I can actually say that I've got lot types or serial types. I can specify on my item that no, this is a lot type or this is a serial type. To do that, I'm going to go back to my item and show you. As you can see there, I've got an option to tick, say this is a serial type or a lot type. If I had different serial numbers of different types, I would come here and select whether it's a lot or serial type. Do we have any questions so far on creating an inventory item? If there are no questions, then I will go on to the next step. So now that our item has been created, we've got two ways to bring in our item. We've got three ways. You can either do an assembly. I think we might have a question. Okay, now the right numbers, we can either say that it should be system generated or you can manually type it in. Let me just quickly show you. So this is how our system, this is how the serial number look like. You see, we've got time of receiving. We've got the format there. Let's just change. Okay, the reason why the system will not accept you to tick that option is because there is already transactions on that item. It might be that you have already maybe made sales or purchases on that item. What you'll need to do is you'll need to zero out your items, do an adjustment. Once the items is back to zero, then it will allow you to tick that serial or lot type on those items. I hope that helps. Thank you. So this is how it will look like. Basically, you can say that you want to auto-create your lot numbers. You've got an option that you auto-create or no, then you can manually type it in. I hope that is helpful. Please accept my apologies for my voice. I have a bit of a flu. Okay, now that we've created our item, what we can do, remember, like I said, we can create three types of items. We can create a physical item, we can create a service item, we can create a buyout item. What I've done is I've created a physical item. Now we can create a service item. So just say this is 001. And this is my service. Then under item type, I will say that this is a service. So as you can see, that option for lot and serial numbers has been removed because you cannot assign a lot number to a service. Also, remember to ask you for your location, which will be our account sets. Then we can also create a buyout. I'm not sure if we have an account set for buyouts, of which we don't have. You can always come here and create a new account set on the flyer. If you come into your account sets, drop down area and click on this new option, then we'll come to new. So basically, you can create a whole lot of, you've got a whole lot of controls over Palladium using the flyer. So the account set type will be a buyout. Then you can come here and select your asset account, which is be your buyout control account. So I'm just going to use tools as an example for now. Revenue will also use the same as tools, sales tools. Then the cost of sale will also be cost of sale tools. Now that I've got my account sets created, I can come and link it to the buyout. So now I've got 3 of my items created, which will be my buyout. I also have my service item and my inventory item. Now remember, like I said, that we've got 3 ways of bringing the items in. We can either do a manufacturing or assembly, we can purchase the item directly from a supplier, or we can do an adjustment to bring the items in. First thing we'll look at the adjustment before we can do anything else. Before you sell an item, you will need to bring it into stock, or you can allow for negative items, which we do not recommend. But for now, what we'll do is that we'll come to processing and look at how to do an adjustment or to bring your item into stock without actually buying an item from the supplier. So we'll say the date, which location we're bringing it into. So this is my stock adjustment. I will come here under numbers and search for my item. You can search using any word in the description, or you can search using the item code number. So it will say test will bring everything that has test onto it. You can also select multiple. So basically you can select different items and bring them in. So for now, I'm going to say I'm only using my one item. Then the item will come onto this field here. Then I've got my description, the quantity that I'm adjusting it by, the unit cost, the amount. If there is a serial number, I would select my serial numbers there. So for now, I'm gonna bring in 150. My unit cost will be 150 each. So this is the total cost of the items that I'm bringing them into stock with. Once I've got all my details there, then I will record. As you can see here at the bottom, at the moment, to show that I don't have anything available. I can come and view my journal entries if I click on this little icon there. So this will show me the journal entry of what was processed. Let's see if I can preview this. Okay, then I can also preview my stock adjustment. It gives me the document number. It gives me the items, what I had originally, what quantity was brought in, what variance, and the cost price. So now if we go to inventory inquiries and I check my stock or my item, I've got 150 on hand. The last received cost, it is updated when you do a purchase invoice. It doesn't get updated by the assembly or the adjustments. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so if I go onto my inventory inquiries, I've got an option to view the transactions, purchase orders, invoices, my stock aging, sales quotation if there's any, sales orders and sales invoices. You can also look at my quantities by location, under location. So it will show me that I've got 150 on hand. Another way to bring our stock in will be through a purchase invoice or a purchase order requisition. To do that, we will come to accounts payables. I will start by creating a purchase order. I'll select any of the suppliers, then select my item. Then I'm going to bring in a quantity of 100 at 150 each. So basically it gives me the same information, the quantity I'm bringing in, the cost price. If there is a VAT, will give me the VAT, the amount. At the bottom to give me the subtotal, the VAT amount, as well as the total of the quotation or the order. Save it. Remember, when doing an order, it doesn't generate any GL transactions in my GL account, so that I won't be able to view the journal entry there. This is my purchase order number. Copy it. I can either do a GRV to bring it in, or I can convert my purchase order into an invoice, which I will do. So we'll come to invoice, then convert. This is my available purchase orders. I will select the one that I want to convert. I am bringing in the 100 as well as the cost price. So I'm going to convert it exactly as it is. So now you can see at the bottom here, it will show me that I've got available, I've got 250, on hand I've got 250 because of the 100 that I just brought in now, and the 150 quantities that I converted or that I brought into, that I brought in via the inventory adjustments. So on the purchase invoice, I can also come and view my journal entry. So it will show me which which transactions, what GL accounts were affected by the transaction. So that's how we bring in our stock into Palladium, like the two ways. If we can go back to our inventory and inventory inquiries. Now we've got our average moving cost at 150. Remember, what I've done is I've brought in my stock on the purchase invoice, which updated this. So basically this will give me an overlook of how the stock looks like. So there's the item information there, the description, the code, the category, as well as the last purchase and last updated price. If we come to transactions there, we can say, let's see, current year. It will give us our transactions for the current year. So basically, you can go through all these tabs and see what was done on your inventory item. The same way with the physical item, we can do a direct invoice. This time I will use my buyout. So I'm gonna bring in my buyout. I will bring 50 of those at 100 rands each. Remember, a buyout is in essence an item that you don't keep on stock, but you only buy and maybe sell it once off in most cases. So if we go and look at our buyout, so the buyout doesn't really update any information there. It doesn't show us what was done because in essence, it's not a physical item that we keep on hand. So we don't really keep track of our buyouts. Here we can check the transactions. It will show us what transactions was done on that buyout. Then also we have an option where we can do an assembly. on our item. Okay, so basically what it does is we can add different or different components to create an item. We can load a bill of material for a specific item, but this needs to be created separately. So we don't have anything as yet set up. Are there any of you guys using the bill of materials or using the assembly option? Maybe we can go through it if you want us to. Okay, so use the bill of material options. Okay, so now we'll look at our bill of materials. So what we'll do is I'm going to create another item for bill of material. So again, under maintenance, I'm going to create a new item. I'm going to call it BOM1, then BOM. So this is a physical item. Let me see, electrical. Now you see we've got a tab for bill of material. So here we can say that we are basically wanting to build, let's say one. Then which are the components that you're going to use to build that item? So here we'll select our components. The number of quantities we'll use 2 of the 4-way plugs to create one of this, or one of our BOM materials. So we can have multiple components. I'll just use this 2 for now as an example. Okay, now that is done, we have created our bill of material. We can come to assembly, load bill of material. So if you come here, then we only have this one bill of material that we need to assemble. We can either assemble or deassemble. So I'm going to create 2 of this. As you can see now, it will show me my components that if I want to create 2 of my item, it will take from stock, it will take 2, or it will take 4 of these items and 2 of these items as per how I set up my bill of material. Okay, now if I'm satisfied with all of this, I will record. So by recording basically means that I'm bringing this item into my stock. So this is done. Now we can view the journal entry. So nothing has been generated. Okay, I'm going to go out, then I will go to my inventory inquiries. Let me check my BOM. Now you see on hand, I've got 2, means I've created 2 items. I've bought in 2. This is the transaction that was done. It has an assembly. It has not created any journal entry. This is the document number. So that is how we create the bill of materials. Are there any questions on the bill of material or creating an inventory item, or how to bring it back, how to bring it into stock? If you don't have any questions, okay, let's see. I think there is a question there. Okay, thank you. Now, if you've got multiple branches, there is also an option for branch transfers. Okay, so you need to look at the kit items. Okay, let's go back to our test item. So the kit items will come back and look into that. But what it does with a kit item, for example, if you're selling cell phones, you can include your cell phone, you can include the cover as well as a charger. That will be a kit for your cell phone. But just we'll come and have a look at that just now. For now, what I'm going to look at the branch transfers. Now, if you've got, like I said, if you've got multiple branches and you want to transfer your items from one branch to another branch, we've got these options there. You can do basically the requesting branch will create a new branch transfer order. So I want to transfer it from which location to which location. Now, what will happen that after selecting my item, it will give me the quantity that I've got. So not a quantity, but the quantity that I want to transfer, the unit cost, and the amount. So what I'll do is I will transfer, let's say 10. I will transfer 10 from, I want to transfer 10 from this warehouse to this warehouse. Now as you can see, the amount changes. Comment will be branch transfer 001. Then if I record it, it will show me that there is a transfer, but it hasn't been completed. So basically, I'm just saying that I am requesting for my items to transfer to a different location. Then once that is done, if you come on to branch transfer, basically branch transfer is the same as a transfer order. Okay. You can just say, no, you are doing a transfer where you don't have to do an order and to do a resetting in the other branch. You just come here and say, no, this is what I want to transfer. So it's just, I'm going to transfer 5 to go to the same bin location. Then say yes. So now once the transfer has been completed, this should generate a general code. It doesn't. But now this should show us that now it has been, we have moved 5 items from our default location. You can see it was moved from default to warehouse. So if we go and view our inventory inquiry again, we look at our locations. We look at our locations to show us that we've got 5 that was transferred over. Then remember the other one was a transfer order. It hasn't been receipted as yet, so it's still pending. To complete that, I'll come to branch transfer. Then what I will do is branch transfer receipt, I will come and convert. Let's see what that's our date. Okay, let me go and check that. Just on the 1st of March. Okay, I need to check why it's not pulling, because it should allow me to convert the order into a transfer or into a receipt. I just need to double check that, but I can also do a new one there. Okay, apologies. I just need to double check this branch transfer receipt, because in essence, it should allow me to convert this document. But I just need to look into it. Please accept my apologies for now. So yes, that is how we can transfer or move stock from one branch to another branch. Are there any questions on the branch transfers? Or do you have any comments maybe? Or is there anyone who's using branch transfers who might have a different process on how to do this? If yes, please do share with us. If not, then can we move over to the stock count? Okay, thank you. Now, a stock count, it is I can say it's a way. Okay, I'm just going to correct my quantities. Successfully. Okay, no. Okay, let's do this again. So now I'll come back to my stock count. Now, a stock count, it's a way of making sure that your stock it's accurate, it's balancing on the system, what you have on the system and what you physically have in your stock. Okay. It also works as a way to adjust your stock to the correct levels and the correct quantities. What we'll do for now, we'll come to stock count. We've got our date, we've got the comment, the location that we are doing the stock count for. We've got two methods. We've got the actual and the variance. So what the actual, if we go into variance, what we'll do is we'll do our stock count. Then we will add under variance what is the difference between what we have on hand and what the system says we have. Or we can do the actual, where we'll say, okay, I have counted my stock and I've got 2 on hand. Okay, so basically this, on the actual, I will put in what I physically have in the store. And it will give me for example, if I say I've got 70, then to show me that the variance is 70. But if I say no, I've got 2, and the system says no, you've got -1, so my variance will be, as it shows you, 3. If I say, for example, I've got 10 on hand, my variance will be -2. That means I am missing 2. So this is how we'll do our stock count. And if there is 0 on hand, it means that the variance is 0. I'm basically writing it out, or I'm adjusting my stock out to say that I've got 0 on the system. So here I would say I've got 2. So this will be my stock count. Then I can say 0 there. If when I record this, basically it should adjust using actual, so we'll adjust to 0. It's fine. Okay, continue. So I have done my count. It should have written something off. I can come and preview my stock count as it is. So this will basically show me what I've just done now, what I had on hand before my stock count, what I've counted, what the variance was. So if we go on to see the item there, our opening quantity was -1 for this chrome plated. So if we go and have a look at it now, it should have adjusted. Now our quantity on hand is 2. You can view the transactions. It will show us that this was done through a stock count. Quantity of 2 was actually adjusted in. Because remember, we had a -1, but 3 was brought in. So that is the stock count. There is also this option where you can use a handheld device for a stock count. We have inventory forecasting. Do we have any customers who are currently using the inventory forecasting? Because I know most of the customers that I have dealt with have not been using this function. Okay, so what I can do is maybe I can set up a different time for you guys to go through the inventory forecasting, because it's a bit of we need to go into more details on this. Can I maybe set up maybe a different time, maybe like 30-minute session to go through the inventory forecasting with you guys? Okay, thank you. If you'd like to be part of it, please, I will give you my email address. Or you can, I'll give you my email address, then you can just send an email through to me and say that you want to be part of the inventory forecasting, then we can go through it on a separate date. Okay, thank you. Then yes, I will be sure to give you guys a date and time for that. Okay, so far we've looked at how to create items, how to maintain them, how to bring them into stock and do an adjustment, and also how to do a stock count. What we look at now, we will look at how to move stock from us to our customers, or how to sell stock. Okay, so remember, with our inventory adjustment, you can also you can adjust them out, you can adjust them in. The same way as using a stock count, you can adjust out, you can adjust in. So now we'll look at the process of selling our items. Where we've got different options there of selling. We can do a direct invoice. Okay, let me quickly show you then. So what some companies do is they allow for, if you come to the control panel and options, control panel, options, under inventory and services, you've got customers that allow for this option to allow negative inventory. So what they do is they can sell stock to customers even if they don't have anything on hand on the system. Sorry about that. As you can see, it will give you a warning that allowing stock to go into inventory will cause some of the reports to become invalid when it comes to cost of goods and cannot be accurately calculated. So yes, there are customers who are using the negative inventory levels. Like I said, what they do is they will give a customer an invoice for a particular item, even if they don't have that stock on hand. What the system does is it will take whatever quantity it is, put it into negatives. So when you bring in your stock, it will replace it will update those quantities into positive quantities. But it is not advisable to use the negative inventory. But some customers do use that option. Does that answer your question, or do you maybe need more information on it? Another thing I forgot to show you. Okay, another thing I forgot to show you is for some of the controls, if you come to the control panel and under options, you can actually control, you've got control over your inventory there, like how to update your pricing. You can set up your margins there. Basically, just need to go through all these options that then they'll give you more information on your inventory or your inventory management. Okay, processing, moving over to sales or inventory sales. Like I said, you can do a direct sales invoice. You can do a sales order. What some customers do is they use a quotation, they send a quotation, convert it into an order, then convert that into an invoice. The system will not deduct your inventory items from a sales quotation or from a sales order. What the order does, it will reserve the quantity on your order, but only an invoice or a delivery advice will take out your stock. So what we'll do is that we will first look at a quotation. I'm going to create a new quotation, select my customer. Okay, this will be my quotation for my customer. 25. Remember, on the price list, I have said that my selling price will be 250 for this. So this will be my selling price. I can do the same for the buyout. So the buyout, I would say it has costed me 100. Only want one. Then my selling price will be 150 rands for the buyout. And remember, when selecting your items, if you come onto the screen, you also have an option at the bottom left corner to either say, I want to view all items. I want to view the inventory items only, which will give you only your inventory items. Or you want to see only your service items, which will give you only the service items. Or you want to view only the buyouts, which will give you only the buyouts. Or just say select all, it will show you everything there. Now remember, like I said, with a quotation, it doesn't affect our stock. It's just us giving a quotation to a customer. Now from this screen, you can also view your inventory inquiries. Select your item and then click on this option there for inventory inquiries. The sales quotation tab, it will show us now there is a quotation linked to this item. It will show us the quantity there, as well as the price and everything. Now, as you can see, we've got in this location, we've got 235 available. On hand, we've got 245. There's nothing in transit. Remember, the 10 is being placed on that order, which is why it shows that what we've got available is this much. So it's the 245 minus the 10, which will give us the 235. Then from here, we can convert our sales quotation into a sales order. What the order does, the order will reserve our stock. If we come to a sales order, convert, we've got our quotation there. We double click, then it comes up to this. I'm going to record this. Now that it has been recorded, if you look on our available tabs now, it will show, if you look at our the information there, it will show that at the moment what we have available is 210, but on hand we've got 245. Remember what it does is that 245, it's from what we have minus the 10 that is on the transfer order and minus this 25, which will give us the 210. The 25 is on order. So So we have reserved a quantity of 25. However, the buyout doesn't give us that information because remember that we don't keep track of our buyouts in that way. That was not giving us that available and on-hand information. Okay. Now that we've done our quotation, our order, we can proceed by selling the item to a customer. We can do a direct sale without a direct invoice without converting an order into a sales invoice, or we can come and convert the invoice into or an order into an invoice. We have this convert option there, which will give us our available sales orders. As you can see, to give us the document that you're converting from, the reference, which is the document that was originally done, which is our quotation. So now this is our invoice. Once we process the invoice, our stock will be reduced by 25. The stock on hand will be reduced by a quantity of 25. So I'm going to record this. Just waiting for it to update. Now that it has updated, as you can see, we still have a quantity of 210 that is available. But on hand now we've got 225 because of the 25 has gone out. We can view the journal entry for this. So what our journal entry does, it shows us the list of inventory, well, not the inventory, but the list of general ledger transactions or general ledger accounts which were affected by our transaction. Sorry about that. Okay, so now that we have done our sales invoice, we've sold our stock. So we've covered how to bring in stock, or how to create items, how to bring in stock, how to sell stock, or how to move stock out to our customers. Okay. So to do an invoice without a sales order or a quotation, it's again, you come to accounts receivables, sales invoice. It gives us a new invoice. You can do by payment, you've got different types. You can say it's a cash account or a cash sale. Then you select your customer. Then, like I said, you can either do a, let's look at our, I'm going to sell 10 to my cash customer at this price. Then I'm going to record this. So as you can see now, on hand, I've got 210. Available, I've got 200. Yes, it is quite easy. So there's not much to it. You just come and go new, select your customer, your items, and record. If you view your journal entry by clicking on this little book there, it will show us the journal entries that went through on our general ledger. Remember, it's a cash account. That was not, this was a cash sale. So that's why we've got different, or better, it looks different from what we had earlier, which was our account sale. Are there any questions? Are there maybe any questions on processing a sale for the inventory? Okay, thank you. Now, once that has been done, if a customer comes back and they want to bring back the items, say that there is something or there's a fault on one of the items, we can do a credit for those items. So a credit note what will do is that it will be a reverse of the original transaction or of the original invoice. It will bring your stock back in with the quantity that you are crediting. I will just convert this invoice into a credit just to quickly show you how to do that. As you can see now, the invoices changes to credit note. The quantity that I want to credit, I will say the customer is bringing only 5, not the whole 10. So the customer is bringing back 5 at this price. And once I record, you can see that my stock on hand has been increased by 5 because the 5 was brought back by the customer. The available will also be 205 because of that 5 that was brought on the credit note. We can also view a general entry for this. It's basically a reversal of the original invoice, but with the changes of the amounts because of we changed our numbers from 10 to 5. So I think that covers most of the inventory management module. Are there any questions or are there any comments? If maybe someone has something to add, they can maybe type in or they can just give us their comments. Another nice feature we've got on our inventory management is this item renumbering. Yes. Okay, so please, when you're sending an email, please make sure that you CC support@palladium.co.za because sometimes I might not be able to get to my personal emails, but then the support email, I can also get to that. Yes, and as I was about to show you the item renumbering, what it does is you can actually rename an item. For example, let's say I want to rename this item here. Okay, so my direct email address is tebogo@palladium.co.za, and the support one, it will basically go to all the support consultants. So what I'm asking is that when you send me an email, you send me an email, but CC the support as well, in case I'm unable to see. If I'm unable to get to my emails, then someone in support will be able to assist you. No, there isn't a charge for asking a question as long as you are covered on our support contract. The only charge will be if maybe there is customization or if you need someone to come and do something on site maybe. So that's like consulting. That would be where there is a charge. But for your general support, no, there is not a charge. Okay, as I will show you this nice feature that if you want to rename an item or renumber an item. Let's see. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start the process again quickly. As I said, it is a nice feature to have, item renumbering. You can search for your item there. Say, for example, you want to give it a new number. You no longer want to say it's 401. You can say it's test 001. then you update. Then as you can see at the bottom, it has been updated from Tebogo to test 001. You can do this to all your items. It won't affect anything on your items. It will affect your documents going forward, how it prints on your documents. Okay. Are there any other questions? So what I'm going to do is that for the inventory forecasting as well as the kit items, that I will do on a separate training session, if that's okay with you guys. Is that okay with everyone? If maybe you guys are okay, you don't have any questions or comments, we can close up this session, then we will continue, as I said, on the next one for the inventory forecasting and the kit items. What I'm going to ask you to just send me an email saying that, yes, you would like to be part of that, the next training session for the kit items as well as the inventory forecasting. Then I will organize and send out an invitation to all those who have requested, if that's okay with you guys. You're welcome. Okay, then if you guys are all okay, then I'm gonna stop sharing my screen now. And if